All right, let's round out Rock of the Marne by GMT. The Second Battle of the Marne in 1918, July of 1918. Now, if you remember, I stopped the first video right before I started the morning turn of 18 July, which is when Petain started their sort of counter-offensive, or their offensive up in the Soissons area, to the, was it the east, I guess? Coming in from the west. So, and you remember the trench lines over here. As you can see, they're quite empty now. So what happened was they came in with all these reinforcements, and they just started shoving the Germans back, or the Central Powers back. Although I gotta admit, this came out close. Put it this way, this was a one victory location for victory points, one victory location decision on this game. So, still get used to this thing. So you can see they took Soissons, and they were pushing, and they were trying to take, I think it's Brain something, there's like right there where those two shock troopers are, or stormtroopers, there's victory points in there. And the Germans held on, or the Central Powers held on, which means they kept their victory points back here at Fim. Right here where this American unit is, there was a victory location there. Boy, you talk about that, was in every turn for about 4 turns. It went back and forth. And of course, the Allies get the last turn, or the last segment of the last game turn, and they won the fight there. So they took that. I think that's a 2-pointer in there. So, come down here, the Germans held the woods. They held this line through here. There's a victory location there for the Allies, which they never got near. The Germans held these bridges, or these crossings, and of course, the Allies, they cannot cross the Marne River other than at the bridges that are already in place, and they don't have any bridges to build. Now, the Central Powers got across. They drove the Allies out over here, and they got across the river, and underneath those two German infantry units right there, is each of those were 1 victory point hexes. So that gave them 2 victory points for those 2 hexes. And then over here, see, they've got, put it this way. Here's the score. It was Allies 7, the Central Powers 5. So there's, oh yeah, they got all 3 of those right there in Epernay. The one on the other side of the river, which the Allies owned at the start, and then they took the 2 on the other side. They held on to 1. This was another last turn fight, where you see that 336 stormtrooper there. The hex to the left where that 126 French infantry was, that was owned by the Central Powers on the start of the Allied phase of the last turn. And the Allies hit them with everything they had and drove them out and took those 2 points back. So the Germans held on to 2 points there. And the Allies, there's three 2-point victory hexes there, and the Allies took 2 of them back. So, close game, very, very, very close game. I think what I would consider if I had to play this again was, once this offensive starts up here, I don't know if you can get enough German troops up there unless you just don't fight at the start of the game. Be very, very conservative, only have combat in areas where you know you're going to get a win, guaranteed, where you're on a 4 to 1. It doesn't even matter, really. If you're on a 6 to 1, which is the highest you can get, and you roll low, you're going to take a beating as the attacker. But you need to be 4 to 1, 5 to 1, or 6 to 1. So, all right. What else we got here? I'm thinking is you notice up here, Reims is not a victory for the Axis, which is weird. I thought it would have been. But there's no victory locations for the Axis, and they start up in the trench lines up here, and they drive, and they don't get anything. I guess it's because they just assume they're so overpower the French that it's they're just going to push right through. It really no sense of giving them any victory points for anything in here, which I thought it was weird, but okay, I got it. But now that I'm completed the game, I see how it balances it out. But this might be one of those things where if I'm gonna play it again, where I will minimize the attacking since there's really no victory locations to take. Make sure that I have, of course, obviously because I know where the allies are going to come in at, to make sure that I have sufficient enough, which I think I just barely did over here, and then make sure I got a strong enough force down here at these crossings, just shield these crossings, and have enough force that if I take these locations like Epernay and Chalon here, that I have enough to hold them. Because I think that those, obviously if the Germans would have held these other 2 hexes down here, they would have won by 2. So, all right, fun game, standard combat system from MMP. I like it, which means I'm going to start spending money because there's a whole bunch of games in that series. I've got, like I say, the 11th Panzer Battles on the Cheer River. I'm going to be playing that. I think my next thing is going to be Poland Defiant from Revolution Games. I'm ready to play that one. You can also see on the record track up here, it was tough trying to get headquarters replenished and air units back in the game towards these last 3 or 4 turns because the rolls had to be so high. And of course, the Germans, they stopped getting the last 3 turns of the game. They don't get any replacements. So there's something else to think about. You're not going to get any reinforcements, but you get reinforcements, and they got some strong ones too. As a matter of fact, those helped out. But you're not going to get any replacements. And replacements is kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure I got it right. If you have units, you can see the dead pile over here. It's pretty massive. If you have units in the dead pile and you get 1 replacement point, your priority has to come from the dead pile. From the way I understand the rules. Like I said, first time playthrough, maybe I didn't get that right, but I'm pretty sure I looked at it 2 or 3 times. So you're going to flip one of these full strength infantry units over to their reduced side, and you're going to bring them in the game as a replacement. I never saw an opportunity where in this game that I could add a replacement to a unit that was always lost because of that, or to a unit that was reduced 1 because of that rule. So the headquarters replenishment rule at the end of a combat phase, if you used a headquarters to provide attack supply or shift, they get flipped over to their depleted side, and then at the start of the next turn you got to roll to replenish them. Now, if you don't replenish them, they can still provide attack supply 1 more time for a unit or for a combat, but they have no combat shift. It's like they don't provide any artillery support or anything. So it's kind of important to get those. Fortunately, both of these sides have enough headquarters where that they're within range. Multiple headquarters are within range, and as long as it's not the PA units, the promised assigned units or whatever, you can use the headquarters to provide the combat shifts from other divisions or whatever. I did have an instance down here near Chalon where I think I had like 7 or 8 allied units, and I didn't have a headquarters 1. They couldn't attack nothing. That could also been something that I could have done better, because maybe if I'd have had those headquarters over where they could have attacked earlier, they could have been working on Chalon a lot sooner, maybe drove the Germans completely out of there. But like I say, as it stands, the Allies won it 7-5. Fun game. I probably played it over like 4 or 5 sessions, because I think there's 1 or 2 times I might have just played 1 turn, or even half a turn. Then I got the ADD kicked in and I got distracted by something else, or just like I said, the past week I was so busy. But we finished it up, enjoyed it. If you don't have it, to me it's worth having. I think you can pick it up pretty inexpensively. I bought this one. This was on sale from MMP when they had like 5 or 6 games on sale. They still sell this game. I saw it on there. I think last night I was looking. It's not on sale anymore, but if you want something to break into the SCS system, granted, I know it's been around a long, long time. This is a good one. It's not, you're not tanks running all over the place, although there's quite a bit of armor that comes on late in the game, but they don't move any faster than the infantry does, the old turtles they had for tanks back in those days. Not a whole lot of informational type rules where you got to drop informational counters all over the place. Air is simple. Air is very simple in this game. Specialized units, just machine gun units and stormtroopers, and then the Allied armor units. And the Germans have one army, which they lost him in this fight down here at Chalon. And with no replacements, he wasn't coming back anyhow. So, all right, enjoyable game. If y'all like this stuff, like I say, click that old like button. Give me some inspiration to keep doing this. I'm enjoying doing this stuff, and I hope to get better as I go. And any tips, suggestions, hey, drop them in the comments. Let me know, and I'll try to improve on that. If you want to keep up to date, click subscribe, smack that bell, and we're going to get this thing cleared off the table here, and we'll probably get something else new going on. I'm still doing my 3 days of Gettysburg, and just finished the 1400 turn and posted that. And I've got Poland Defiant. I don't know if I might move that out here. And then I got to figure out on the third table what game I want to put up. And, you know, it won't have any priority, but I'll play it as I get time. All right, we'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching.